This has to be watched very closely. This is one of the main reasons I believe a lot of the small and medium-sized banks will come to the Bankcoin family, like Ripple, XRPL. They'll use the XRPL. They'll use Chainlink, Solana, etc. Any of these bank coins, top ones. And I think we've heard that from a lot of the representatives that the private sector will lead the way. And this is one of the reasons why. Not that it should, but it will. I think it's inevitable, which will cause an explosion in a lot of those prices in the future. It just is what it is. I don't know any other way to phrase it. We first saw this happening in the US. Take note of that. Then we saw it recently in the EU, right? We covered that in the members only section maybe like 2 months ago. Now we're seeing it happen in Russia. That tells us what? This is a global problem, which means what? Globally, there's banks that will want to utilize something like the XRPL, Chainlink, Solana, Algorand, Stellar. They're in the game is what it means. It's not a guarantee. They're in the game for sure. 100%. Now, what is the problem? What's this big secret? And it is like a big secret because you don't hear this being discussed everywhere, do you? They're keeping it quiet. They don't want you and other people to know that there's a big problem within the banking system. There's a war that's been brewing there. But wait. Their concerns, the banks, that is, the banks' concerns in Russia are about their CBDC, right? The central banks. Didn't I say this? I said the central banks around the world. First, they gave the regular banks their guarantee. No, we're not going to take your deposits, your business. We're not going to take your customers. That's what they said. But as of recent, I said this, didn't I? As of recent, they've been sounding like they're about to stab a lot of these banks in the back with certain things they're doing with their CBDCs. It says here, the banks are concerned with the potential outflow of bank deposits and the cost of implementation. You see that? See, now, let me spin it the other way now. We got to look at the other way. Big money is on the horizon. I take this very serious. Now, that's another reason why I think we could do this outright. We could take a lot of banks outright. We don't have to, with the offerings that we have directly, not through the central banks that we work with, we'll take their money also, but direct offerings, direct mechanisms that we can offer to small and medium-sized banks so they can survive. They don't have to worry about the outflow of bank deposits. When it comes to cost of implementation, we keep cost super low. They will want what we have. They want what we have. That's why over the years, there's been so much talk about the banks wanting to utilize XRPL, Chainlink, Solana, Stellar, Algorand, etc. That's why. It's not a joke. It's serious business. Now, what's going to happen? I mean, we have to wait and see. Nothing is guaranteed, of course, like I said, but there's a high possibility of that for sure because of things like this. So then they say that they're talking about the holding limits. They're not planning holding limits, right? Wait. There's so much here. The banking industry has been getting exposed as to why the new financial system is going to dominate. Why behind the scenes, and for all the researchers out there, you know that the new financial system has been dominant when it comes to taking meetings, trying to establish partnerships. They've been cooking. You want an example of someone of a company that's been public with their successes, just a little bit of them. Look at Chainlink. Look at all the banks that they're working with in Australia and all these different places with Swift. See, and they haven't even made the most moves or the biggest moves. No, you got companies out there like Ripple, Quant, etc. And they're just being real quiet right now because of the NDAs and things like that. But that's going to come to an end very, very soon, it seems. In 2025, maybe some of those NDAs expire. We get regulatory clarity, and then you're going to hear some massive news, which definitely could, not financial advice, definitely could make those prices pop and transform those companies and those chains into something absolutely dominant money makers long into the future. But we'll get there. Then it says this, to be direct. And I like this because I haven't heard anyone speak like this since it was maybe 3 years ago when we were covering the U.S. banks and they were putting out a lot of their transcripts. Remember that? We went over a lot of transcripts and they were talking like this directly. Since that time, nobody else has talked directly. In the EU, we did read a couple of documents where they were dealing with this same problem. And the banks were like, hey, you're not going to turn on us, right? You're not going to step on our toes, take our deposits, take our customers, right? But it wasn't direct like this. This is what this person has to say. A representative of the banks in Russia says, quote, this is coming from Oxakov, Mr. Oxakov. It says here, quote, perhaps a bank is not needed as an institution. Let me read that more smoothly. My apologies. Quote, perhaps a bank is not needed as an institution since the digital ruble will be very much automated, unquote. That's the fear. That fear will drive them right into our arms. It will drive their money right into our pockets. This is a massive, massive catalyst. But it's something that can only be observed if you're going to stay close to the banking news. Anybody can do it. A little Google search and you find out which websites and things like that are putting out transcripts of banking meetings and stuff. A little bit boring, but you can skim through it and then just bookmark those things like that. And just every once in a while, maybe every 3 weeks, go through there, read the most popular articles on there. Usually they tend to be some of the best articles. And you'll be able to keep up with that news. Because if it continues to go this way, they're giving us more and more of a certainty that those banks are going to use our products directly, not go through the products and the systems established by the central banks necessarily, but setting up systems that can connect to that system where they can sort of insulate themselves from any type of damage that the central banks could cause, right? They want to, it's like in the way they have to compete with the central banks right now. They do. This is why they're saying, wait, what was it? There was something else about the customers. You know, of course, outflow of bank deposits means customers are going to be utilizing CBDC more. So they're losing customers as well. That's more deposit flight. Obviously, that's deposit flight in a nutshell. They have to compete to keep those customers. They're going to need things like smart contracts, staking ability, delegation, lending, things like that, where a customer can do that right from their wallet or their digital wallet from that particular bank, not from the central bank, which could damage you as an institution and it doesn't have to really help you. So I just wanted to put that on your table. That is insanely huge right now. So we have that. Let's go here. All right. I don't want to stay on that for too long. So now we have some XRP news. Let's go here. RLUSD is all the rage right now. A lot of interesting things happening with that. Ripple's RLUSD records major changes in one day. All right, let's scroll down here, find out what's going on with RLUSD. It says the American blockchain payments firm Ripple Labs Incorporated triggered bullish market sentiment when it launched RLUSD stablecoin on global exchanges. While the price has seen no intense volatility as previously hinted, its growth trends in 24 hours have not been particularly smooth. As a stablecoin, RLUSD stablecoin is expected to maintain a 1-to-1 peg with the US dollar. However, data from XP Market shows that the token has slightly depegged and was trading for 99 cents at the time of writing. Is that so? When RLUSD stablecoin launched on December 17th, its price started at over $1.10. Ripple CTO David Schwartz projected this instability for the token, advising prospective users not to FOMO into buying it. Yeah, we read that the other day. I saw a couple other stable coins that were 99 cents. I don't think it was today. I think it was yesterday. That happens sometimes. And it's a new stable coin. There's going to be volatility there, right? Amid the instability, the stablecoin has seen an appreciable surge in its market cap and other key performance metrics. The stablecoin jumped from a fully diluted market cap of $13 million at launch to $15.1 million as of the time of writing. All right, so now let's move on here to a little bit more XRP news. Oh, not XRP, Ripple news, right? Ripple, but RLUSD is affecting XRP, right? This is what the articles are saying. So here it says, pro XRP lawyer dismisses SEC's claims on Ripple RLUSD launch. What the heck is the SEC talking about here? It says supported by deposits in US dollar, government bonds, and other cash equivalent instruments, RLUSD is expected to increase liquidity and usability on the blockchain. Although New York Department of Financial Services gave its green light, the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission has deemed it an unregistered crypto asset, quote unquote, in the past, causing concern among investors. Okay, the past. What are they saying right now? The SEC mentioned RLUSD in its reply brief on remedy submitted to the Ripple lawsuit in April 2024, stating it is an unregistered security issuance. Bill Morgan, an attorney for Pro XRP, You mean a pro XRP attorney, right? Replied stating that the SEC made the statement, but he did not find it credible. Nobody does. Nobody does. They're over with. That whole regime is done for. It's just a matter of time. Time is just ticking. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. That's it. And hopefully a new energy is coming over crypto. Everything will be worked out now. Things will be unleashed. That's what it looks like is leaning towards. We'll see if that actually happens or not. But I thought they were going to tell us a little bit more here, but I think it's clear that RLUSD is fine. It's a regulated stable coin. It's going to be great. It's doing great. It has a lot of big support behind it. So we're going to leave that there just in case there's more negativity there, because I really don't need the negativity right now. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you that much. Don't need the negativity. So let's get here. Let's go here to a little bit of Bitcoin news. This article is titled Bitcoin ETFs flip gold funds and AUM. K33 research. This is on December 16th. U.S. spot and derivative Bitcoin ETFs collectively broke $129 billion in net assets, surpassing gold ETFs for the first time. Net assets in the United States Bitcoin exchange traded funds surpassed those in gold funds for the first time on December 16th as institutional asset managers clamor for the cryptocurrency, according to data from K33 research. According to Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas, the AUM figure includes spot ETF, Bitcoin ETFs, as well as ETFs that track Bitcoin's performance using financial derivatives such as futures. Quote, if you include all Bitcoin ETFs, they have 130 billion versus 128 billion for gold ETFs. That said, if you just look at spot, BTC is 120 billion versus 125 billion for gold, unquote, Balchunas said. Either way, it's, quote, unreal, unquote, that Bitcoin funds are even competing with gold in this way after just 11 months, he added. BlackRock's IBIT Bitcoin, IBIT becomes decade's top ETF for inflows, surpassing all rivals. IBIT secured over $36 billion in positive net inflows, besting approximately 2,850 ETFs launched in the past 10 years. It says BlackRock spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund IBIT became the most successful ETF launch in over 10 years, following the 418.8 million in net flows registered on December 16th. Nate Garachi, CEO of the ETF store, highlighted that IBIT had beaten approximately 2,850 ETFs. He added, quote, in other words, IBIT has more lifetime inflows than any ETF launched since 2014. Did this in just over 11 months. All right. So let's find out what's going on here with this whole Bitcoin reserve thing. This has been all the rage also. I think Bitcoin is bullish without a Bitcoin reserve in the U.S., but it seems like a lot of countries around the world are going to be doing this. They're looking into it very seriously. So it says here, Nick Carter is wrong about the U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. All right. What did the person say? When I saw Nick Carter's recent Bloomberg interview, I couldn't help but shake my head. Nick, who's been a long-time Bitcoiner and someone I respect, said that the U.S. shouldn't and won't buy Bitcoin for its strategic reserves because it would supposedly signal weakness in the dollar on the global stage. Yeah, I think I disagree with that. I do. I just don't agree with that. I think that's a perception, I think, of one's own mind. I think that's just the angle you're coming at it from, and I could see that. I could respect that, but I don't agree with it. But let's keep going. My apologies. I had to click off a giant ad that just popped up right in front of the article, and then it gave me trouble clicking it off. It says buy Bitcoin for strategic reasons. Okay, I get his argument, but I completely disagree. Same. In fact, I think it's the exact opposite. In my view, adding Bitcoin to U.S. reserves would be a massive show of strength. Yeah, when something's happening, it's going to happen. Bitcoin is going to be here, and countries are going to use it as a reserve, whether you like it or not. Bitcoin is going to explode, whether you like it or not. It's going to be dominant. And the U.S. likes to lead the way. So why not do that? Why not do it? It's like the new financial system. You might as well, if the world is going to go this way, and it is, it's inevitable. Nothing can stop it right now. So why not lead the way? You want to follow? You want to be left out in the cold? You want others to lead? Because they're going to gain power and respect for that. And you're going to get left behind. Why do that? Why not benefit from it? The fruit is right there. The tree is in your yard. You're hungry. Pick the fruit. It says it would send a message to the world that the U.S. sees Bitcoin for what it is, a financial safeguard. Yeah. This is now, see, in this way, I will say, yeah, I agree with that. It is sort of like digital gold in the concept of what it's supposed to do. I don't believe it's an equivalent for gold. Gold is just different. I need my brick of gold you can hold in your hand. It's something physical. All that typical stuff that I would say. But yes, in concept, it is like a form of digital gold. So I agree with this. And not some competitor to the dollar. Once again, I agree with that also. Who wrote this? Who is this saying this? I like this person. Where's the name? Vivek Sen of BitcoinMagazine.com. Shout out to Vivek Sen. I like what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense so far. The U.S. already holds tons of assets in its reserves: crude oil, diesel, uranium, foreign currencies, and over $500 billion in gold. None of those holdings makes the dollar look weak. Great point. Good point. Instead, they reinforce confidence in the dollar's stability. Bitcoin would do the same. I agree with that. You agree with that? You let me know. All right. So we're going to leave off there for today. Oh, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.